Welcome back. Today I try a hardcore Nuzlocke of a Mega Ruby using only a Latios. Additionally, I will be banning the Mega Stones, Substitute, and stat boosting moves like Calm Mind and Swords Dance, but stuff like Steel Wing and Charge Beam are allowed. If you like this video and you want to see more challenges, make sure to subscribe and comment what you would like to see next. Obviously, Latios is a very good Pokemon. It's a featured legendary in Generation 3 and highly used in competitive play. So this challenge should be pretty simple, right? Well, let's get into it. For some reason, my parents stuffed me in the back of a truck moving me across Japan, but I survived the travel log and officially turned 10 years old, which makes me legally able to own a companion to fight bloody, wholesome battles with other trainers and wild animals to steal people's money. I walk around my new town, talk to my neighbor about the new TikTok trend, then go touch some grass. But lo and behold, the mayor of the town with a population of 9 is getting attacked by a puppy for some reason and needs my help. Well, I open the briefcase and lo and behold, it's a Latios. I take my mythical monster and go fight the puppy. Then I realize that I can't hit it. Well, technically the Nuzlocke doesn't begin until I get Pokeballs, I guess? Yeah, I definitely didn't just come up with this challenge out of nowhere without any research of the game or anything. After a humiliating loss, I go through Odell Town to meet my neighbor in the woods, and he wants to kill my Latios, so I teach him a lesson. Then I murder another kid's dreams and make my way to Petalburg Forest and run into a member of the Flat Earth Society. And turns out they also have a puppy that is Dark type. I don't get any damaging moves that attack it, so I guess this challenge is over with Latios, but with Latios, maybe there's a way to beat it. You see, Latios struggles because it gets a very offensive move pool, but Latios gets Charm and Wish, which can help me stall this Poochyena, who only has Tackle and Howl. Let's try it. I go back to the briefcase and pick Latios, then make my way to Petalburg Forest, and turns out I am 5 PP short of PP stalling 80 total PP that the Poochyena has. But apparently struggle damage is calculated different in this generation, allowing me to deal massive damage with little recoil. And with that, the challenge continues. After the grunt, it's a matter of just dodging trainers until I get to Roxanne. It turns out these twins won't fight you if you have one Pokemon, so that's nice. We also get access to Oran, Pecha, Cherry, and Chesto Berries. When we get to Rustboro, we get access to Cud, which finally lets me hit Dark types. And now it's time for the gym. There aren't any required fights, so I go straight to Roxanne. I charm the Geodude, then start firing off Psywaves. Roxanne uses a potion, but I'm able to take it out. Then I charm the Nosepass and click Psywave on that until it faints, giving us our first badge. Something that I realized, however, is that the next level cap is actually 16, which makes EXP very tight. Apparently the Flat Earth Society has a hobby of stealing birds now, which I question a lot, but we have to fight another Poochyena. This time I realized that I can just go into the fight with no PP and just use Struggle to kill it. Next we head to Dewford and immediately walk into the gym. I forgot to update the level cap, but it's 16 and I'm already 15, so it's gonna be pretty tight with 3 required gym fights. But I'm barely able to not overlevel, and we make it to Brawley. I start the battle off with charming the Machop as it spams Bulk Up, then start using Psywave as Brawley uses a potion. Clicks Bulk Up a few more times as I wish before taking it out. The Makuhita also has a habit of spamming Bulk Up, so I charm that down and start firing off Psywaves until it dies, giving us the second badge. Then we go to Granite Cave and deliver a super secret letter to Steven, and he gives me a Steel Wing TM, which Latios can thankfully learn. We get to Slateport, delivering some goods, then run into the Flat Earth Society again. Do I really need to tell you whether my Latios beat them? But anyways, I run into their leader, and apparently he wants to recruit me. So I tell him I'll attend their next meeting at Mount Chimney. Right now, I'm level 18, and the level cap is 21, so I'm feeling alright. We run into the rival again, and I do get paralyzed by the lead Shroomish, and the Marshtomp awkwardly goes for Bide, but I'm able to get through just fine. After dodging another trainer, we get to Mauville, which I forgot how cool it looked in this game. And I was kind of scared of the Watson fight until I realized you can just buy a Bulldoze TM and Latios can learn it. So yeah, it was pretty easy. I was also able to learn Dragon Breath in the process, so that's nice. But now my sights are set on meeting with the Flat Earth Society to see what they have to say. We also learn Mist Ball on our way, which is fantastic, and we reach Meteor Falls and run into some members who are also on their way to Mount Chimney. And it turns out they are kidnapping scientists and trying to force them to spread their message. Me and my rival are outraged by this, so we fight them. Also, side note, how did Tabitha go from this to this? I swear I thought the person on the right was Tabitha. But after the fight, the scientist tells me the truth about the Flat Earth Society and their plans to brainwash the entire nation, so I know it's my mission to stop them. We get to Mount Chimney and I catch Maxie trying to build an atomic bomb, so I beat him to a pulp. Then he gives me a souvenir meteorite after learning they are moving their meetings to Mount Pyre. Next we have Flannery, which now the gym is just one giant hot spring, it seems like. But the battle starts. I click Charge Beam a couple times on the Slugma as it light screens, but I do get one boost. Then it's the Numel, who I kill with 2 Dragon Breaths after getting burned. And finally, it's Torkoal, who sets up a curse as I wish. Then, thankfully, it's Sunny Days as I Dragon Breath, which Body Slam could have killed me if it crit, but one more Dragon Breath takes it out, giving us our 4th badge. I go to my dad's house to tell him the great news, but it turns out he is now a Flat Earther, so we have no choice but to fight. He leads Slacking, so I get a Charm off as he yawns. I Charge Beam the next turn, and thankfully, I get a boost, and a Chestoberry wakes me up. Then a Charge Beam takes out Slacking as Vigoroth comes out. He Encores me into Charm, but thankfully never crits the Feint attack, as I Charge Beam twice to kill. Lastly, it's Slacking, who goes down to a +3 Dragon Breath, giving us the 5th badge, and my dad a midlife crisis, knowing that his 10-year-old daughter is better than him. At this point, my Latios has matured a lot, so it's time we let her start dating. We meet her Tinder date in a forest, but we run into another couple who are also on a date. So we establish our territory, and Latios joins the team for moral support, and a little bit of HM usage. Next we go to Fort Tree City, and do some insane trainer dodging to get to Winona. Winona leads with a Swellow, so I Charge Beam, leaving it in the red as Swellow double teams. Then Winona uses a potion, but I thankfully hit a Dragon Breath, taking it out. Then Altaria goes down to a Dragon Breath, and Skarmory goes down to a Charge Beam. And lastly, it's Pelipper, who sadly didn't have Volt Absorb, giving us our 6th badge. I beat my rival again, do some shopping and a cosplay, then go into a nuclear power plant, but get scared, so I head to a mountain riddled with graves, and reach the top where I find Maxie plotting to steal a submarine, and her admin fights me, but thankfully, because of her crimes, the Pokemart has banned her from buying Pokeballs, as she only has 1 Pokemon. I go back to the power plant and face my biggest fear, a horde of Poochyenas. Then I meet up with Courtney again, who still only has 1 Pokemon. I mean, did they even try to make this game at least somewhat difficult? But I digress. Maxie escapes, and it's time to go surf on my little Zigzagoon to Moss Deep City. I get to the gym, and it turns out you can't fight the leader with only 1 Pokemon, so it's time for Zigzagoon to step up. I click Surf for some good damage on Solrock and Lunatone, and thankfully neither of them sets up, so I get hit by a weak Rock Slide and Psychic, then one more Surf takes them out, giving us the 7th badge. I walk outside, and turns out Maxie is trying to drain the ocean by blowing it up. So I go to their new hideout in Seafloor Cavern, do some insane puzzle solving, then meet up with Maxie for our final battle. Also, the low cap is 46, 1 more than the last, so I'm really scared about EXP. I fire a Charge Beam off on the Mighty Yenna and get a boost as he goes for a Scary Face. Then he does it again as I sadly miss. But then he goes for Taunt as I take him out and get another boost. Then it's Weezing, who surprisingly just exploded, but does about half. Then it's Crobat, who does a chunk with Acrobatics, but then goes down to a Charge Beam. And lastly, it's Mega Camerupt, who yawns as I recover. Then I get a weak Bulldoze as a Chestoberry wakes me up. And then 2 more Bulldozes gets us the win, and we save the planet. Until we realize Godzilla is about to rain terror on Sootopolis. But not if I can stop him. I mean, ride on him, then throw a Master Ball. Yeah, cool story. Time for the 8th gym. So the situation here was if I ran into any trainer or fell off because I didn't do the puzzle right, the entire run would have ended because of my EXP. But thankfully that didn't happen, and we get to fight Wallace. I Charge Beam the Love Disc as a Person Berry heals the Sweet Kiss, as another one takes it out. Then it's Milotic, who I Charge Beam, and thankfully don't get frozen or crit by an Ice Beam. And one more Charge Beam takes it out, then Celio dies to a Charge Beam, and Whiscash dies to a Grass Knot, and Seeking meets the same fate. giving us 8 badges and a chance to fight the Elite Four, who, fun fact, all have super effective typing against Latios, so it's gonna be tough. But before that, I need to crush Wally's hopes and dreams. Also, this area in Victory Road is beautiful, and I can't believe I forgot it existed. But our battle goes something like this. Dragon Breath Altaria, Psychic Delcatty, Dragon Breath Magneton, Psychic Roselia, and oh shoot, it's a Mega Gallade and Magneton screeched me. But it Swords Dances and Psychic takes it out. Now it's time for the Elite Four, which took me so long to prep for, with Sydney, Glacia, and Champion especially being tough. But let's get into the Sydney fight. I'm really worried that the lead Mighty Yenna will just crunch me then Sucker Punch the next turn, but thankfully it swaggers as I have a person very attached. But it was able to get a Sucker Punch off before I took it out. We get to level 56 and I learn Dragon Pulse, which is huge as it OHKOs the incoming Sharpedo. Next is Absol, who is really tough as Dragon Pulse usually doesn't OHKO it. I missed the range as Absol goes for a Night Slash, and thank God it didn't crit. My next Dragon Pulse actually hits the range after a full restore, but it didn't have Sucker Punch, so it wasn't really a worry. Shiftry also doesn't have Sucker Punch, but I am dead to Fake Out crit. But because it only sees a kill with Feint Attack, I'm able to recover and then get above half with another one. And then an Ice Beam takes it out, which leaves Cacturn, and that falls to an Ice Beam, barely getting us out of the fight. Next is Phoebe, who can be an issue. I hit a 30% range with my Shadow Ball and Dusclops, thankfully. If I didn't hit that and it used Curse, I would have lost. Next is Sableye, who gets a Fake Out on me, but then falls to a Dragon Pulse. The first Banette comes out next, but dies to a Shadow Ball, as well as the next Banette, and thankfully neither of them had Sucker Punch. Lastly is Dusknoir, who can kill me with a crit Shadow Punch, so I have to go for Shadow Ball. And I hit another 50% range, so we survive. Next is Glacia, who is almost impossible to beat as a Latios, but a Latios with Ice typing, now that can work. This is where the move Reflect type comes in handy. I copy Glalei's typing as he goes for a Light Screen. Then I just farm him down with Thunderbolts as he sets Hail. Then next it's Walrein, who thankfully doesn't Body Slam, and I take it out with 2 Thunderbolts. Frostlass is able to get a weak Shadow Ball in before I take it out. Then it's the other Frostlass, who I get an unnecessary crit on as it sets Hail. Then another Thunderbolt takes it out, leaving the other Glalie, who hits me with a Freeze Dry for no damage, and a Thunderbolt takes that out, easily getting us through. Last is Drake, who went a little like this. Ice Beam Altaria, Dragon Pulse Mence, Dragon Pulse Kingdra, Ice Beam Flygon, and Ice Beam the other Flygon. The champion fight is another where I absolutely needed the Reflect type move. Steven leaves with a Skarmory, which is fantastic as it's Steel Flying and walls his entire team. We keep trading hits as Shadow Ball eventually is able to knock it out. Then it's Aggron, who I Shadow Ball for a lot of damage as Aggron hits me with a hard Stone Edge, but I wasn't dead to crit as crits are only 1.5x damage in this game. I recover up, then knock it out with a Shadow Ball. Next is Credilli, who I Toxic as it Ancient Powers, but thankfully doesn't get a boost. It does, however, get a Confuse Ray off as I hit myself, but Credilli luckily doesn't get the boost again. And eventually gets full restore, but we repeat the process. Eventually I'm able to stall it out, and it runs out of Ancient Powers and never boosted. Next is Claydol, which also gets walled by Steel Flying. I Toxic as it goes for a Light Screen, eventually gets stalled out. Next is Armaldo, which, shocker, can't hit Steel Flying, though Rock Blast does do a sizable amount, and it dies of Toxic. Last is Mega Metagross, which, guess what, it can't touch me, as it goes for a Giga Impact. I get a Shadow Ball in as it recharges, and another Shadow Ball takes it out, winning us the challenge. Honestly, I didn't expect this challenge to be so easy, that's why the video is so short, and there really wasn't much to see other than me trying to not overlevel before gym leaders, but the Elite Four was actually really tough and made the challenge worth it. If you like this video, make sure to subscribe and comment what you would like to see next. Also, I'm doing Redux Challenge Mode Hardcore Nuzlocke on my Twitch account, and we are going to be playing Pokemon Gaia blind with Hardcore Nuzlocke rules, so don't miss it. As always, thanks for watching, and have a great day.